The way we consume newspapers has enormously changed in the past 2 years. And although it is possible to see newspapers, printed newspapers almost everywhere, I believe that eventually they will disappear and be relegated to a niche in the near future. Now, there are many reasons for that, but in this talk, I just want to focus on two main points. The first one is that in printed newspapers, there is an inherent latency, which basically exists in everything which is physically printed. And the second thing is that there is no personalization in mass-produced news. Now, let's start with the first point, the fact that in printed newspapers, there is an inherent latency. Now, when you read a newspaper, there's actually a process, a long process behind it. I'm talking about reading the printed newspaper. So this reporter, this journalist, he writes the piece, he sends it to the editor edits it and approves it. It's been sent to print, it's been printed, it's been distributed to the newspaper stands, or you get your printed newspapers via the newspaper person. But when you actually sit and read this morning newspaper, you're actually reading yesterday's news. Another example for this inherent latency is that once a story has been published in print, it doesn't have the ability to update itself, to improve itself with new information coming in, with comments of either the readers or reviewers. So it's basically static. It cannot change. That and the fact that there is this again illustrates the inherited latency that printed newspapers have. Now, the next point that I want to talk about, the next reason, is the fact that there is no personalization in mass-produced news. What I mean by that is, again, the newspaper companies, they publish the newspapers and they want to aim to as many people as possible. So in the printed newspaper, you might find a lot of articles that don't really interest you. Now, when you take, for example, the online news, let's just say the Huffington Post, you can personalize your news preferences by either you can just checkbox it that you want to read about foreign affairs, or that you are you have many clicks on titles that relate to foreign affairs, so it creates your own personal profile. And another thing is that they don't have any restriction on the number of words, the number of pages, and you have links to other related articles. So it is very personal. Another example now from the commercial side. Again, the advertisers, when they publish the ads in the printed newspaper, they are trying to aim to as many people as possible, trying to capture this um, market segment that it will appeal to it. And when you consume your news through the internet, by the number of clicks, by the things that you click on, the advertiser can create your own targeted ads, your own personal ads. This way, you are being exposed to products that actually interest you, and that is actually even more effective to the advertisers themselves. So again, these two examples illustrate why the online internet is better over printed newspapers in the fact that, again, there is no personalization in the printed newspaper. Taking this point together with the first point that the printed newspaper has an inherent latency, both I think explain very well why printed newspapers will disappear in the near future to become a niche.